So everybody, what we're going to talk about this week is probably my favourite model, Skyline R33. Since the last video which went out about the 34 GTT, we've been inundated with 33 owners kind of starting to ask the same question. What's my 33 worth? Is it going to go up in value? What's the best models? And we're now starting to see in our restoration centre a lot of 33 GTST owners coming through. They've either owned the car for many years and it's starting to show the ravages of the UK salt on the bodies, or it's something that they've just bought and they really want to turn it into a pristine show car. Fortunately today in the restoration centre I've got two examples of one that needs restoration and one that's recently been restored that I can actually show you. We can have a discussion about the areas to look out for if you're going out to buy one, and we'll also touch on the valuations as well. So let's go and have a look. So anyhow, what we've got here is one of the examples we're going to discuss now. I'm going to show you the corrosion points that we find on a lot of R33s. So probably the worst, if not one of them, is floor damage. And we can see on this particular example here where the floor is actually corroded and split. Normally this is a mixture of owners jacking the cars up on the sills. As the cars get older, the structure of the steel becomes weakened and then they actually end up splitting the floor. You get water ingress, sits there for hours, weeks, months, years, and then just slowly starts eroding into it. So this is a very, very, very common problem. It's the same on both sides, and we've also got sill corrosion as well. So again, similar kind of story with the front. That hasn't split open yet, but it will the minute we try to go towards it with the restoration. Going along here with the floor and the sill, you can actually see this is split. This is a really common issue with cars that have kind of lived out on the street and haven't spent a lot of time in the garage. And the corrosion travels all the way back to the suspension mount on the rear as well. These were a real issue to repair properly because this has got twin skin inside. So a lot of people we've seen previously just kind of stitch a weld over the top of it, and to be honest, the rust is left inside, so it doesn't resolve it. Moving to the back of the car, inside pockets we see starting to weld out as well. Moving over, we see the floor, the boot floor, again a really bad corrosion area, and we can see it's mirrored on this side as well with the corrosion on there. Moving on to the 33 quarter panels, again, very similar story with these. 33 GTST, 33 GTS, 33 GTR, they all suffer this problem. Problem is rear wheel arches. And we can see this is a pretty good example where the corrosion's got in behind the double skin and it's starting to corrode. Now this corrosion does travel kind of all the way around here. And if I feel inside, you can feel this has already been repaired previously. There's probably an inch worth of filler on the inside of this quarter panel where it's been repaired over the years and then repaired again. So the only real fix for this is to actually remove a much larger section of skin up to about that side there, and then fabricate in-house with one of our spoon benders a new skin and arch to go into it. This is a really good example of a 33 that we can have a look at. That's kind of ripe for restoration now. Even so, the value of this car as it stands in the current market is probably 12 to 14,000 pounds. May sound like a lot of money. A few years ago the same car would have been 3 to 4, but we've also got the other end of the spectrum now, where we have, as I mentioned just before, a lot of owners now starting to do good quality restorations. They've moved away from the patchwork on the vehicles and they really want to build kind of exemplary versions. So here we have a 33 GTST, which has had a full glass out bare metal respray to the body. The owners also asked us to kind of go on the underside and start treating the floor areas. So this is what we call our OEM plus finish, and this is what we do in the restoration centre. This particular job here might take 2 weeks to do. And it involves removing the exhaust, removing the gearbox, all the fuel, the brake lines, and then we physically, by hand, remove all of the paint from the floor, treat the floor with a corrosion inhibitor, and then we'll use an epoxy salt-proof paint to go onto the floor there, and then we'll use a marine grade rubber to go along what we call the impact areas. The impact areas are where traditionally the stones will fly up and chip the living daylights over and hence just start the corrosion. So now this car, customer's about to put this one up for sale because he's got his hand in a new project. He's anticipating a £30,000 price tag to go with this one. Compared with a 12, we're now moving to 30. If somebody's looking for probably the best example of the United Kingdom, this really has got to be up there with them. 33 GTST, absolutely stunning condition. Definitely looks like it's just rolled out the showroom. A prime prize winner for any car show in the United Kingdom. If you own this car or something very similar to it and you've had it for a number of years, you are potentially sitting on a real gold mine. Again, driven by the American market, there's a real thirst for R33s in the US, whether it's a GTST or a GTR. The American market is driving the prices of these up. So if you've got one in the garage that you haven't used, if you've got one on the road that you use as a daily, you are now sitting on a potential gold mine. Worth investing the money into them to get the body restored, worth investing the money on them to get the floor sorted out and to get the paint work done. I know as an owner, with the experience that I have, many years ago, if I spent money on my car, that was money gone and I would never see it again. The market's changed. Here we now have cars where literally every penny you spend is going to return you some money back out of it. So if you want to have a talk about your car, see whether you want to take it from something needing to be restored up to a showroom as new condition with a potential £30,000 plus retail, give us a ring, 01429 838885. You can find us on social media under the GDR Heritage Centre, and that's our website there as well, the gdrheritagecentre.com. Drop us a line, give us a call, send some pictures in, we'll have a talk about your car and see if we can turn it into the grey one.